Hello everybody and welcome to this tournament video for the playthrough for Master Division for the upcoming tournament. This video is with variable wins and I will go through all the holes that we are going to play. If you do want to follow along in a better way, you follow the info box on the right hand side for club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, but also what ball and club I suggest you to play with. Have in mind, you don't have to follow that if you don't want to, but I always have a plan with my suggestions. Now, let's enjoy the video and go to hole number 1. So when it comes to the drive, we're going to start with the rock at top of plus 10 with half of blue ring into the rough with rock 9 and then plus 11 for rock 8. Gonna use 1 left spin and 3 top spin, and this is option number 1 has to be said as well. Option number 2 is played more or less identical, just that we're using 3.5 bar top spin instead. Adjust is going to be max plus 10 P3. And once we have adjusted, we're going to go with circle drop overpower. And the reason we're going to do that is that we then not going to have to push up, because I do believe pushing up is much more difficult to generally be consistent at compared to going with just circle drop overpower. Tried it perfect. A great left is danger, I would say, even though there might be room. I would say in general look at it as danger, whereof a great right is going to be safe. So on the second shot, we're going to use 2 right spin and we're going to use half a bar of top spin always. And once we have added the half a bar of top spin, we're going to look to have the second bounce to be just by the edge of the rough line. Ball guideline to go through the hole, and this is always going to be around +4 or +5. So when we're making the adjustment here now, we're just going to play a 1-to-1 based of situation, which is 1-to-1 plus 0.8. So here we're going 8.6 rings for 7.8 miles per hour. We're not going to do any wind angle tweaks for this play either. Now we're going to center the ball and hit perfect, and this will give us a very solid chance to drop shot. We do have a backup as well as for being a standard bounce up towards the pin. However, though, that bounce up is, in my opinion, very finicky, and it's not something that is easy and requires obviously some decent wind angle tweaks to be solid. But check that one out if this does not interest you. You may be wondering, is great safe? Great right is safe, great left is not safe. You're gonna miss the rough with a great left, but you're still gonna clip the rough with a great right. So a precision ball is definitely recommended, but it's absolutely not a must. This drive has been tested for a POC 6 Plus, and we're playing this one with a P3 Plus, wind 5, side spin 1 ball. So NMT, adjust max plus 10 P3, and I'm using all the top spin that I can. And once after the adjustment, when it comes to Apocalypse level 6, we're gonna push up 0.7 rings. And when it comes to Apocalypse level 7, you're going to push up 0.2 rings. And when it comes to Apocalypse level 8, we're not going to push up anything. It's just going to be hit perfect, whereof a great left is better than a great right, but a perfect is preferred. Like a great right is not going to be in any danger of losing out the birdie, but you might, in worst case scenario, miss the rough, and then you will have to just play yourself for a birdie. But I really enjoy this drive, and the reason why is that it's consistent. I'm always getting to around 390 to 398, and that's super helpful when it comes to trying to dial in the second shot, which is not an easy one. On the second shot, we are going to go with the bullseye just by the edge of the rough line. But first we add spin, 2.3 backspin, like that. And then we're going to, move the target. So we are just by the edge here. And we're gonna go through the hole like that. And once we have done that, we're going to make an adjustment. We do have our base at +6, which is 56% slider, 10% elevation, P3 numbers. and we are adding or subtracting 0.1 for every 2 yards. And here I'm pulling always from the fourth ring, the clear ring, and the reason for that is that at least from my eyes, the white ring is difficult to see properly when it falls down into the sand. Adjustment is done, and in this angle, which is the little bit more tailwind angle, I'm adding 1 click of right curl, but it was almost the highest wind, and maybe it shouldn't, but the default it should be 2 clicks of right curl in the more tailwind angle, so to speak, where we're gonna go center the ball in the more crosswind angle. We're gonna have a third angle as well, as I do believe it will be needed. Alright, hole number 2, we're gonna send it. We're gonna move rings left from NMT. With a poke 8, it's 3 rings. It's gonna be different, obviously, for poke 5, 6, and 7. Once we've moved that, we're gonna look at wind angle. This is the more crosswind angle. But the thing is, though, we're going to use the same push-up in all angles here. We're only going to push up different due to wind strength. And the reason for that is that the ball comes in lovely. The only thing we need to tweak is that we're going to use a little bit more curl if we do have tailwind angle. Because what happens if we're using less curl and tailwind, it's that then we risk clipping the bunker before we're hitting the rough, because we're aiming here now to clip the rough and roll up onto green. The hole-in-one is definitely a possibility, but it's obviously going to be a little lucky if it's going to go in. 6.5 top spin and 2 right spin. Now this is the curl with the 0.8 ball left curl is with crosswind, and then we're going to add 5 clicks more with tailwind angle. It will be instructed in the guide. Ball bounces on the fairway into the rough and it rolls up, and it's either going to stop on the fringe on the back, fairway on the back, or on the green. Obviously now when having a higher wind, the ball comes in a little bit hotter. When it comes to the push-up, we're going to push up for mid-wind 12.5 rings, and it's 12 rings for high wind and 11.5 it's 13 rings when it comes to the low wind, and that's a poke 8 numbers. I don't really see on this bumpy fairway where laying up is often a little bit risky due to glitch rolls. I do believe that the send it is the best option here on hole 2. On the drive here in hole number 1, our win 10 ball play, we're starting with QB and I'm all in ball at NMT. We're setting max top spin with our QB, which is 5 bars, and then 1 left spin. Then we're swapping to a poke and to a sniper bag. You can play with any P4 plus, side spin 2 plus, win 10 ball. I'm deliberately putting this ball a bit short on the fairway, because I could use more topspin, I could roll further up, but I don't want to do that. I want to be consistently around 330, which is by the edge of that shadow. This to give ourselves a great angle when attacking the pin for the funnel, for the rough bump funnel on the approach. On the second shot, we will most often be at +4 and +5, which is our base numbers. Now, before spin, bottom of the blue ring where the fairway meets the rough, then the ball guideline to go center into the bright green square. I know it's hard to see with the visual on the green. You can also try to use different reference points if you would so like. Now we're going to apply whatever spins necessary to get the ball guideline approximately 2 green square through the hole. I'd rather be more than less in my opinion, as if you do not have enough use, then we are going to be coming in slow, obviously, which is a problem. Now this is in between the 2 wind angles. There's only 2 wind angles here. If we have more headwind, we're gonna do circle drop overpower, and in this wind angle and more right, so more crosswind, do just before circle drop overpower. Adjustment is gonna be for 7.2 to 8.1 miles per hour is 1 to 1 minus 1. If we do have 8.2 to 8.6, we do 1 to 1 minus 0.9. and then we do get ourselves a nice little eagle to start with in hole number 1. Get yourself an advantage in the major for expert and master division by signing up to the best guides on the market. Patreon.com/golfclashtommy for the ultimate tournament text guides. On hole number 5, here you can play with a large variety of golf balls. We're starting at stretching out to max to have the yellow ring by the rough line. Here you can play with any wind 8, 9 or 10 ball. This is wind 8 for reference. If you wanna pull the rings, then you pull the rings, but the tree will be a bit awkward. If you wanna push the rings, then you're pushing the rings instead. It's all up to you. Max topspin, 1 right spin. If you do want to play with an Apocalypse level 6 or extra mile 9, you should be following the information on the slide, as we're going to have to push up. Grades are fine on either side, and we're looking to have dead bounces out from the rough to be around 420 yards. We do strongly advise a P10 ball, which is the only suggestion in the guide as well, but again, you can play wind 8, wind 9, wind 10, as I've been testing with all 3 of them with success. On the second shot, we are going to do a tree check, or tree root check, whatever you want to call it. We do have the bullseye by the tree at +7, max is +11 with a P10 ball, so we do have some room. No spin, ball guideline just towards the hole here with our thorn, and then we do make an adjustment. That's going to be 5% elevation with 20% slider and P10 numbers, and that is from +7 and +8. Center ball, I'm in 1 click of underpower here until I kind of correct and go down perfectly centered, and we do then have a perfect ball, and it comes up to green and dropping dead center for the eagle. Scan the QR code here on the screen or go directly to patreon.com/golfclashtommy for the ultimate tournament text guide for expert and our master division. On hole number 8, here is a play for wind 8 and wind 9 ball users. Start with a P4 ball at max rest. We do have the yellow ring to the left by the rough line with our Apocalypse level 8. 4 right spin and 5.5 bar top spin. So here you can play with Apocalypse level 5 plus. Adjust max +20 P0. Once you have adjusted, you're gonna go not max curl, we're gonna go 2.25 ball of right curl, which is max with Apocalypse level 5, but not with Apocalypse level 8. It's with the center line down just right of the triangle. Perfect ball, we're looking to have dead bounces to somewhere around 300 and God, I need to look at the right thing, 390 to 397 yards. On the second shot, we are going to do a blue ring fringe check, where the fringe meets the green, ball guideline going over the hole. So we're looking at where the blue ring meets the fringe with the ball guideline over the hole. That's our reference. Bottom of the yellow ring, where the fairway meets the fringe, ball guideline to go over the hole. Then we apply spins to get the ball guideline into the hole. Once we have done that, we are making our adjustment, and we are going to play 36% slider, no elevation, P6 numbers, and that is from +3 and +4 check. Always pulling over the bullseye. I'm starting at the yellow ring to then move all the way over. It's going to be very few rings to pull, and the maximum that you can actually pull if you are at table, which is the +3 and +4, is going to be 4.1 rings, which is not much. No wind angle tweaks, and we're dropping it dead center for an eagle. Scan the QR code on the screen or go directly to patreon.com/golfclashtommy for the ultimate tournament text guides, expert and master division. On the drive on hole number 1, here we're starting with the rock at +16. You can also start with a P3 ball to find max line. Yellow ring by the rough line, swap to a Pock and Thorn or Falcon bag. Here you can make a decision, either you keep the P3 Wind 4 or Wind 5 ball, or you swap to a P4 Wind 4 ball. The reason I'm swapping to a P4 ball is to give myself a complete slow needle, regardless if I'm having a little bit of crosswind or if I'm having just the normal tailwind. Approximately 1.9 ball right, max plus 10 P4 is the adjustment, 4 top spin, 2 right spin, and the ball did consistently roll down to approximately 380 yards. Max OP with completely slow needle. On the second shot, you have to decide if you're gonna play with a Falcon or with a Thorn. The Thorn will allow you with a Wind 4 ball to always pull once, whereof the Falcon is going to most likely have to pull twice, especially in the mid and the higher winds with Wind 4, whereof the Wind 5 ball will obviously always be once. This is just in between the two zones that we're gonna have. Yes, we are going to have wind angle tweak when we're playing this type of shot, this to be consistent, and here we're doing 1 click of left curl as it is just on the cusp, but it's either going to be no tweak or it's going to be 2 clicks of left curl as per the zones. Adjust is going to be 90% slider with a 15% elevation, P3 numbers, and that's for Thorn. The difference with Thorn and Falcon is the following. Falcon plays with still 1 backspin, but the ball guideline just into the hole, and it plays plus 10% elevation instead of the plus 15. Have that in mind. Get our guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. So, hole number 4 here, we're gonna have Ascend It. I know there are a lot of people been waiting for Ascend It here in this Tailwind tournament. Now we are going to have White Ring by the rough line at max P5 line, playing with a P5 wind 0, side spin 3 or better. You cannot play with a wind 1 ball, which is a Berserker, just to have that said. Adjust max plus 10 P4, and then we're gonna push up 18 yards. If you cannot push up 18 yards, you push up to max. In this angle, which is the more crosswind angle, playing with 7 topspin and 3 left spin, max overpower with 1.5 ball of left curl, try to hit perfect. I would favor a great left over a great right, but great left and great right and perfect has all 3 been fine. Bounce and it lands, and when we do have the crosswind angle, we are dependent on this nice little rollout. There is a risk that you get stuck in the rough by the green, but then it's a super simple rough iron from there. Playing with a precision P5 ball will obviously help you if you do get into the rough, because unfortunately on a bumpy fairway like that, it's hard to control all the outcomes, whereof I do believe that it's gonna be very solid to get to the green. What needs to be said as well is that we're using spin tweaks for wind angle. This, as having less crosswind is obviously going to push the ball better, and then we're going to have to reduce topspin, and everything like that will be listed in the guide. Get our guide on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. On hole number 8, we're gonna start with a Pock and a Berserker. Berserker is the only ball that is needed here. We're gonna have the inner ring to the right by the rough line there in the center. We can also use the half of the white ring outside the rough, depending on what you feel the most comfortable with. Now, topspin based on wind strength. 2 topspin, 1 left spin here when it comes to a low wind, and we're gonna make an adjustment as max plus 10 P5. And once we have adjusted, we're gonna push up to max always. So the top spin is going to vary as we're pushing to max always. Once we have pushed to max, we're just going to center the ball and hit perfect, and this ball should be on the green or around the green. If it happens that you do clip the rough, which can happen if you do hit a bad great right, then you have a short iron, then you play rings from min with your Thorn to allow yourself a solid opportunity there as well if you mess up the drive. Thank you everybody for watching this playthrough video for Master Division for the upcoming tournament. If you did enjoy the content here, make sure to smash the thumbs up on your way out. Now, last but not least,
a massive good luck in the upcoming tournament.